What's happening, John Line, guys? Welcome back to Sherlock Holmes, Crimes and Punishments. This should be Chapter 17, if my counting is correct. When we last left off, we were in the plant nursery. We were looking around. We had seen some posters of Martin Hamish's accomplishments, I guess, for lack of a better word. About to search this work desk and get into it.
Written by Martin Hamish. A glasses case. It is empty. This area serves as Martin Hamish's office.
Which we kind of already knew anyways. Diplomas.
An award presented to Martin Hamish for Best Grower of the Year. A master's degree diploma. It belongs to Martin Hamish. These young plants must be delicate if they are kept in the nursery.
That's about all we're going to see from in here.
Locked.
Let's check out the office buildings. Like I said, the plan is to check these buildings out, and then we'll head to the seed house.
Locked.
This is the director's office. The hell is this? Oh my god. They would throw a curveball. So 2, 3 on both sides. Two, 3, 4, 5. It has to be 5 the other side. If it's not, that's gonna suck. It's a weird ass safe. But we got it open. My dear friend, please allow me to express my disappointment upon reading your last letter. I am paying you to defend me, not to accuse me. Kew Gardens is a royal institution. We are granted the great opportunity to travel the world and to save the most extraordinary, precious, and rare species of plant. Our duty is to protect such species, and from those who might wish to use them for dubious purpose. The divine syndicate of whom you speak have no right to hold such precious plants. Remember the case of June 14th, 1889? So I must respectfully ask you once again to notarize the permissions on these plants on behalf of Kew Gardens. The documents were sent to you on Monday. P.S. See you in Boodles on Tuesday as always. Montague, done. Mr. Dunn, we must ask you, for the last time, for the return of our dear sisters. You do not have any right to hold them in prison. They do not belong to you. Your so-called permissions are wholly false. You are hiding behind lies. The lie we need to elaborate, that was reported in the press as the case of June 14th, 1889. What you have done is quite aberrant. Be very sure that we shall never abandon our family members. We trusted you, and regret having done so. The Divine Syndicate. Intriguing.
I suggest that we don't tell Miss Margaret White about this document.
Debt of Miss Margaret White to Mr. Montague Dunn. Rental of a suite of rooms at Oxford Street. An educational scholarship at the London University. Credits opened at Hamilton. Redigan House Tailors. And at Baird and Sons Luxurious Jewelers. It's intriguing.
A photograph of Montague Dunn and Reynold Hamish.
It's intriguing.
Champagne. Montague Dunn had good taste.
He was also an
French
alcoholic,
wine,
but
a remarkable vintage.
we won't talk about that, though.
Newspapers discussing Kew Gardens.
Let's see what we got. The Times. New plant species. The Kew Gardens team are pleased to announce the successful production of a new variety of barley, one that retains a complete resistance to the cold. They have named it the Siberian barley. Mr. Martin Hamish, the proud cultivator of the graft, will hold a press conference next Monday morning upon this very subject. My dearest Margaret, following our last conversation, I believe it might be better if you vacate your position here at Kew Gardens. As you pointed out quite bluntly, you are no longer in need of my support. You are quite able to stand up for yourself in this world, as you say. Well, I give you back your freedom and wish you nothing but good luck. Montague Dunn. That's intriguing. So I'm pretty sure I won't be able to get into the other section of this building, but we'll try anyways.
Locked.
I can. Just can't get into there. Okay.
There was a bottle here. It left behind a trace of the substance that pervaded the laboratory.
Some kind of detergent.
Several drops of the substance were spilled. Someone carried this bottle around. Several drops of the substance were spilled. Someone carried this bottle around.
Gold dust? Good heavens. What's it doing here?
The gold is almost immune to chemical attacks, so it may be a valuable auxiliary for various experiments.
But why would anyone perform such experiments in a botanical garden?
The bottle is no longer here, but it is possible to detect a faint scent. We need a good nose.
Looks like we'll need Toby for that.
It appears as though the protective equipment is missing from here. Gloves, waterproof aprons, everything one might need for self-protection.
Do they grow dangerous plants here?
Such masks are generally worn when dealing with toxic chemicals. Locked.
Holmes, Albert Dunn didn't give us the key to this door.
It does not matter. We will open it.
Of course. This seems rather complex. Jesus. The hell? Accidentally clicked out of the game, apparently. The slides, eh? The hell is this? Some weird ass shit. Game keeps thinking I'm like clicking out. I don't know about this one. This one's confusing as fuck. My God. I'm close, but I'm not close enough. There we go.
Open. Miss White's locker. These jewels must be worth a small fortune. Apparently, Miss White is a capable student.
Master's degree, Jesus.
A draft of the letter that Miss White sent to her parents.
Dear Mother and Father, I'm writing this letter with reluctance to ask for your help. My studies and my housing costs have proven to be more expensive than I've anticipated. I fear, therefore, that I may not be able to manage in the long term. I know that we have had our disagreements in the past, but would you be so heartless as to allow your daughter to fail her studies due to lack of money? Margaret. So then she relied on Albert.
A vanity purse. It is of high quality.
Margaret, we were surprised to receive your letter. How could you think to ask us for money after all of these years that have passed since you left, without any thought of us? You have never shared with us any detail of your success at the university, but you choose to do so now. We suppose you must be ashamed of us, for we are not from the same high class as your new friends. Yes, we are modest people, but you should learn to put your family first, as we at home have always done. And none of us have ever compromised their reputation, as it appears you have already with your employer, Mr. Dunn. No, Margaret, it is you who makes us feel ashamed. Your parents. Dear Margaret, I know how your financial troubles are overwhelming you at the present time. Please let me reassure you that I could not permit you to remain in such a dilemma. I was born of a wealthy family. I would consider it an honor if you might accept my help. Your devoted servant, Albert. Bit of a love triangle there, don't you think?
Martin Hamish's locker. Father and I, Kew Gardens. A review on rare and exotic plants. Martin Hamish has written several pieces.
Mr. General Secretary, recent events unfolding at Kew Gardens oblige me to renew my application for the management position. As I've stated already in my previous letters, I believe that no one is better suited for the post. While Mr. Montague Dunn was alive, I understood your reservation to my suggestion. Your reasons were political, and I was happy to comply. But now the Kew Gardens lie in disorder. How can I stand by and allow it? How can I leave them in the hands of inexperienced people with no motivation? I must urge you to cast your decision as a matter of urgency so that I may devote myself entirely to the noble task ahead and free my mind from this uncertainty.
Martin Hamish studied chemistry. Interesting.
That is interesting, to say the least.
Albert's locker. Young Albert, standing with a woman in front of London University. Young... Specialist articles on shipyards and ship construction. Albert Dunn has a great passion for shipbuilding and the sea. A rejection letter from the British Royal Naval College.
Let me try that again in English. Royal Navy School of NCOs, Recruitment Center, London. Sir, it is my regret to inform you that despite your excellent results within our entry examinations, we are unable to invite you into the Royal Navy School. Your father, Mr. Montague Dunn, has expressed his intention to entrust to you the dictatorship of the Royal Botanic Gardens in Kew, and it is clear that he would not release you for an entire year of naval training. Please accept all our best wishes for your future at Kew Gardens. Yours very faithful, J.M. Lamchern, Director of the Royal Navy Training Center. Definitely got some invaluable information there.
A botany book. This student's book belongs to Albert. Chemicals. A sufficient quantity for some serious experiments.
A phonograph used for voice recording. Remarkable.
Yes, this is quite a modern laboratory. I don't hear anything.
Martin Hamish's perception of plants. The notion of communication in the plant world has long been considered marginal, yet I remain convinced that some plants do indeed transmit chemical signals in the event of attack.
A study report by Martin Hamish.
And it seems clear from these multiple experiments that plants do respond to their environment and have a form of consciousness. Margaret White, February 1895. Report number 245.
Study report. This is a table for experiments. It resembles my own.
Only this one is kept in good order, Holmes.
Well, you're not wrong, Watson. I think we've... That was just for the door, right?
The employee's cloakroom.
I think we've damn near seen everything we're going to see in here. Let's go back to Baker Street so that I can do some research. We'll grab Toby and we'll come back. All right. So... Search the archives for the Divine Syndicate and some symbols. The Divine Scholastic Syndicate for Vegetation Veneration. The members of the syndicate worship Trewan, the God King. They strive to obtain spiritual peace and release themselves from the material world. So generous donations are appreciated.
Here it is. The Divine Syndicate is not a supplier to Kew Gardens. Besides, there is no address here.
Seymour's Garden equipment and supplies. We are a premium supplier for all your landscape, gardening, and timber requirements. Full range supply and delivery of sands, soils, mulches, pots, and anything else you may need. 3 Blurton Road, London.
Here it is.
Last but not least, I need to search for something. 1889. The Strand. Scandal at Divine Syndicate Club. The Divine Syndicate Club follows the guard of the God King Truan, situated on 48 Grosvenor Street, Carlton Road. Protectors of plants and more, particularly trees, are currently the subject of an administrative investigation. The leaders of this organization are suspected of financial malfeasance. It may be that this investigation will lead to charges of judocracy. Meanwhile, many voices have risen high against the inspection, denouncing the state. In fact, this private organization, which has given as its goal the defense and protection of nature, and which incorporates many persons of influence, including political representatives of the opposition party.
Here it is. And here is the Divine Syndicate's address. Perfect. It is time to find out what they have against Montague Dunn.
All right, Toby. Come with me.
Come on, Toby. We have some work for you to do. Let us go to Kew Gardens.
Someone should take Toby for a walk. Have you found something interesting?
Let us take Toby to the laboratory. He will pick up the scent of this mysterious substance.
All right.
Search, Toby. Search.
Ooh, excuse me.
Congratulations, Toby. Now let us see what you have found. This is the bottle that was used in the laboratory. It was buried here. There is still some liquid remaining in the bottle, with gold flakes, a tiny caterpillar. Not surprising to see one in a garden, but at the bottom of a bottle.
Intriguing. We're going to need some analysis on that, that's for sure. I need to know what that is. Let's see what this is.
Let us determine just what we have found here. Let us pour liquid from the bottle into a test tube to perform an analysis. This is the bottle that we found hidden at Kew Gardens. Let us use a pipette to take a sample of the liquid and fill a test tube. A colorless, water-based liquid. Quite a strong floral aroma.
Taste. I don't know if that's a good idea.
Holmes? What are you doing?
It has a bitter taste.
What if it's poisonous?
Did you ever see poison stored in enormous jars like that? Anyway, there is a doctor nearby.
Hilarious.
So what do you think it is?
It is some kind of organic compound. Let us vaporize the liquid and see what happens. Small colorless crystals. Colorless, tiny crystals that are soluble in water, with a floral smell and a bitter taste. Watson, could you pass me that small bottle, please?
Of course. Here you are. Holmes, do you know what it is?
Wagner's reagent. There was a label on the bottle that you passed to me.
No, Holmes, I meant the bottle that we found.
Let me add the reagent and see if there is any sediment, and then I shall tell you. Red sediment, just as I suspected. This liquid is of organic origin. It contains some alkaloid. Most likely it is unstable, and that is why there is a quantity of gold dust to prevent contamination. This mixture is probably a fertilizer. Someone was carrying out unusual experiments in the garden's laboratory.
Interesting. Doesn't really explain too much, but it's interesting. I still love this loading screen. It's probably my favorite loading screen in any game I've played in a long time. Alright, so I think it's about time we go talk to Margaret.